The night the forest swallowed my compass, I realized every survival myth I'd ever heard was about to be tested. I trekked 12 miles into the remote Cascades, seeking a solo camp. Beside a hidden creek, armed with a tarp, a magnesium fire starter, and a notebook of essential tips. My goal: prove I could thrive without a signal, trusting instinct over gadget. At sunrise, I set the tarp on a slope, rigged a ridgeline, and boiled water from the creek, feeling confidence surge as the day warmed. Dusk arrived with a low growl from the woods. Clouds gathered, wind snapped branches, and my tarp began to flap wildly. A sudden gust tore a corner, exposing my sleeping bag to the chilling air, while the creek swelled into a frothy torrent. I was alone, wind-ripped, temperature dropping below freezing, compass lost, phone dead, survival. Turned from theory to life or death. I forced myself out of the shaking tarp, inhaled pine-sharp air, and scanned for solutions. First, I dragged a fallen log into the creek's edge, creating a natural windbreak. The log, heavy as a sack of potatoes, anchored the tarp's edge and blocked the gusts that had threatened to rip the canvas apart. I knelt down, shivering, and inspected the ground for dry brush. The forest floor was littered with fallen pine needles, but the recent rain had dampened most of them. Spotting a cluster of dead cedar boughs half buried in leaf litter, I pulled them free, feeling the slick bark slide through my fingers. Each piece was brittle, snapping with a faint crack that promised quick, clean fuel. As I stacked them neatly beside the windbreak, a faint sense of control returned, replacing the panic that had seized my thoughts. Then I piled dry pine needles, bark, and small branches inside the tarp, forming an insulating layer beneath my sleeping bag. Using the magnesium rod, I struck sparks onto the needles. A modest fire ignited, its heat pushing the cold back. Fear shifted to determination as I arranged rocks around the flame, adding larger logs to keep it steady. As the flames licked the pine needles, the orange tongues cracked, sending tiny sparks skyward. I whispered a mantra I'd learned from a Finnish wilderness guide. Respect the fire, and it will respect you. The heat seeped into my fingertips, thawing the numbing cold that had settled in my bones. Yet a stray gust threatened to extinguish the blaze, and for a heartbeat I feared the night would reclaim me. I quickly fed a handful of the cedar sticks I had saved, watching the sparks catch and the fire grow steadier. In that moment, the forest no longer felt like an enemy but a silent ally, providing both challenge and solution. The fire's glow illuminated the trees, reminding me that survival isn't about conquering nature but collaborating with it. Hours passed. The storm faded, the creek receded, and I recorded the temperature at 45 degrees Fahrenheit, far colder than expected. I noted 3 improvised tactics that saved me: a natural windbreak, layered insulation, and a magnesium fire starter. The night's climax arrived at sunrise, sky blazing orange, fire embers gone but lessons shining brighter. I stretched, feeling pride surge. I survived not because of gear, but because I listened, respected the forest, and acted fast. Leaving no trace, I trekked back to the trailhead, compass still missing, navigating by sun arc and creek flow like ancient travelers. A driver waved as I emerged onto asphalt, amazed at the lone hiker who survived the wild. What does this adventure teach? Every camping trip hides a test. The real skill is turning panic into preparation. If you ever lose your compass, remember the 3 pillars I used: solid windbreak, layered insulation, reliable fire source. Master them and the forest becomes a partner, not a threat. Enjoyed the story? Hit like, share your own wilderness near misses below, and subscribe for more hard-earned survival insights. Until the next adventure, stay curious, stay prepared, respect the